Who want one last trip to the long trail?
The Tekken Talk just concluded a couple of minutes ago, and in this video I'm going to try to summarize everything as briefly as possible. There's a lot of information, so I'm just going to fly through it. Remember, subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. First thing first, the account suspension. There's been a lot of foolery going on and the developers are trying to clamp down on it. They put out a couple of tweets saying what they're focusing on, and it's kind of the same thing as last time. Intentional disconnections, cheating, glitching, rank boosting, and inappropriate game chat and just voice communication, customization, and usernames as well. In this little ban update, they said that they hit over 1,000 people, and they were really emphasizing that because everyone's been making fun of their little Excel spreadsheet. But then also what they said, and everyone celebrated when they said this, is that people who plug, if your disconnection rate reaches a certain threshold, you will only be matched up against other pluggers. They call it plug purgatory. So if you're plugging, you're going to be matched up with people who plug, and that's the only people you will be able to play. I don't know how long, I don't know if it's indefinite, but that's kind of what they said. Now, on the topic of the update, there was a few different updates that they talked about, but there's one that's taking place on April 2nd. This update, they will be focusing on a few things. The major balance update will be taking place after Evo Japan. That's when we'll really see the tier list start to shift. But the 2nd of April, they'll be fixing a problem with throws where if you're holding 1 and then you press 2, like if it's a 1+2 break, it doesn't register. So they'll be fixing that so you can better escape it. But then in the future update, they said they want to nerf the counter hit throw so it's easier to break out of it. And then also they said they wanted to fix a little bit of damage scaling as well. We have some videos of Deviljin and Azazina where they gave a little bit of an example. We'll get to that in a second. But focusing on the third update, April 2nd. This will go live when Eddy is released into the game, and this will be adjusting the behavior / properties of moves for some characters. And also they'll be doing bug fixes, and then they're adding new items to the shop. The shop is getting pretty crazy. So they're adding Yoshimitsu from Tekken Tag Tournament 2, his outfit into the game. Even though it's my favorite Yoshimitsu outfit, one of my favorites, I'm still not going to buy it. But then they're also adding a Cyber Pack 1 and 2 for all characters. And then here you have kind of an example of what that looks like. Something else they're adding, I don't think they actually said oh yeah, so this will be on the third update. They're adding a battle pass to the game. Now, I'm not even gonna bother getting upset about this, but this is definitely something that I don't like. But a battle pass is coming to the game, and within this they're gonna be putting a lot of customizations into the game. So free customizations, it seemed like that's kind of going away, and what's replacing it is battle pass. You see they got, you know, cool hair, cool paint, a mohawk. Them doing it this way kind of makes sense why Tekken 8 is lacking. Wow, they have a flag here. The flags that was available in Tekken 7, you now got to purchase the battle pass to get it. Wow. Okay, let's focus back on the update. They gave a little teaser of how big the balance update will be. Now it won't go, like, it's not going to completely change the tier list, but there's some things in there that's really going to kill a character. Like when they were talking about Deviljin, the chat was like popping off. But you get to see these 4 pages and how lengthy it's going to be. They haven't released it yet, but when they do, I'll definitely cover the whole thing, so just subscribe and stay tuned. I have 2 clips here, one of Deviljin, one of Azazina. I'll go ahead and let those play, and then we'll continue with the breakdown of everything that was discussed.
We're changing the properties so that when the first hit, the knee, doesn't connect, then the follow-up attack, it just whiffs, right? So it should be easier to go around. And then also the active frames of the move have also been decreased by 3. Some of the spec regarding how damage scaled was not as intended, so sometimes when you slam the opponent into the ground, or some other times when stage gimmicks kind of come into effect. He was particularly mentioning with Deviljin when you're doing
Something else that they revealed is the official character usage data for all online modes, and then also for the top ranked. I'm going to do a separate video and break this down in detail, but just look now and see where your character is, where they're at, and see how the lines connect and see where they are in comparison to like top level or just general level. Now this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. The update is broken down into 3 sections. We had the first update, which was on the 29th. We have the second update, which is Eddy, on the 3rd. And then we also have the May 4th update. And that's going to be the big one. It's going to do a lot for the game. And the way they were describing it, it was sounding like they were going to flip the tier list. You know how you used to hear people saying that in Tekken 7, oh, the same top tiers are always top tiers forever. This time around, just from how they were describing it, it seems like they were really going to flip things around. So who knows, Leroy mains, Shahid players, or whoever you think is low tier, maybe after Evo Japan they will rise up. But we'll get there when we get there. Let's focus on now. Another very cool change that they're adding is in ranked match, quick match, and group match, if the match is lagging, both players can agree to terminate the match and it will end. You will not lose, they will not win, nothing at all. The match just simply will not count if the quality falls below a certain threshold. Both players can agree. I think Street Fighter has the same thing as well, so Tekken 8 is kind of copying that. And for PC players, this was really cool as well. So I guess you guys have to like go into the options to quit out of the game. They're now going to add a quit button on the main menu just to make it easier to shut down the game. So celebrate for that as well. Okay, now on the topic of Eddy, I uploaded a video where the developers were talking about his gameplay. They went very into detail and they showed how you can either use the character and also counter the character. Eddy's going to be very strong this time around. I mean, pay to win DLC, right? But something that stood out to me out of the whole entire like 30 minutes of them talking was they said that Eddy was streamlined to be like other characters. Now, in my opinion, I kind of don't like that. Just simply watching the gameplay of Eddy, he was looking a lot like Yoshimitsu. And what I mean by that is Yoshimitsu, he has sword stance and no sword stance. And in Tekken 8, they kind of make those two flow into one another. You do down 2-2, put the sword away. You do something else, you pull the sword back out. For Eddy, it was kind of the same thing. You would go into it, you would do a move, go in a handstand, do another move, go out of it. So it's just kind of sad to see that these characters are all being streamlined and made similar to one another. What made Tekken so cool is how they were different from one another, and there was different fighting styles and different, it's just kind of sad to see that happening. Maybe when a character comes out, it's really cool and it's for the better, but simply looking at it, I was just looking at like another version of Yoshimitsu. Press 2 buttons, go into this. Press another 2 buttons, go out of it. Repeat, repeat, repeat. But on the topic of Eddy's release date, there's 2 versions. So if you have the Ultimate Edition, let me see. If you have the Deluxe Edition, you get the character early, and if you have the Standard Edition, you have to wait until the normal release. They did say that if you want to upgrade to the Deluxe Edition, you can, but in my opinion, don't do that. There's so much stuff already to purchase, so spending the $30 or $40 to upgrade is dumb. If you do want to invest that money, put it into the battle pass, put it into the shop, put it into stocks or something. But for the release date, it's April 1st, that's early access. Pacific Standard Time is what they're emphasizing. And then April 4th is the official release. Now, all of these will release at the same time. Kind of how the game did. Remember when the game released at the same time for everyone? The DLC will also do the same exact thing. Now, I don't know if I mentioned or not, but the patch notes itself will release on April 2nd. So Eddy, April 1st. The patch notes, April 2nd, is in the general release for Eddy is on the 4th. They didn't say anything about the story DLC, which I was under the impression that it was going to release the same time as Eddy. I don't know what happened to that. They really didn't even mention it, like it didn't exist. Also, they didn't really mention like other game modes, team battle, 3-on-3, tournament mode. There's a lot of things that they were talking about last time that wasn't really brought up this time. Maybe they did that to make it not as repetitive, but I do know a lot of people are interested in those things. So we'll just have to see how it pans out, right? Some of these things was already established, so let's get the developers some time to put some work in, and then we'll see where they're at. After Evo Japan is probably when they'll do another Tekken Talk. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.